You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Monday, June 1st. I'm Johnny Kahner. Thank you for listening and watching to Four Things to Know. Let's get to our top story today. New charges in a deadly shooting at an Islamic prayer service last week. A 28-year-old Shakopee man is accused of shooting and killing 26-year-old Khalid Ibrahim Abdi outside of an Eid prayer service on Wednesday. Now, you might remember that shooting happened at Canterbury Park. 28-year-old Mohammed Rage is facing one count of second-degree murder and also an illegal weapons charge. We have more on the backstory, all courtesy of the criminal complaint that came out today. Charges say the victim's wife told police they were leaving Canterbury Park, and that's when they say they were approached by a man. That man allegedly said he wanted to fight Abdi. Abdi responded to the man saying, quote, "Please leave me alone. I don't want to fight." But then Rage allegedly followed Abdi and his wife through the parking lot as they tried to leave. Then they got into a fight, Rage eventually pulling out a gun. Now, the medical examiner determined Abdi's cause of death to be a gunshot wound to the torso. Charges say Rage turned himself in at the Shakopee Police Department the day after the shooting. Now, we will, of course, keep you updated on how this case unfolds. Your second thing to know today, a sister of a man exonerated after nearly 2 decades behind bars is now calling on lawmakers for help. Our Barrett Leone has more from St. Paul to explain the effort that she says is much bigger than politics.
Marvina Haynes has fought tirelessly to prove her brother's innocence. Like you mentioned, he has been exonerated. But Marvina says that the impact of that wrongful conviction, it didn't end with her brother. It impacted and caused damage to her entire family, which is why this morning she's fighting for a new law that would provide support to families just like hers, called the Marvina Haynes Act. Now, we were there in 2023 when Marvina's brother, Marvin Haynes, was released from prison. He spent 19 years behind bars for a 2004 killing at a Minneapolis flower shop. In her quest to get him out of prison, she founded Minnesota Wrongfully Convicted Judicial Reform. And this morning, Marvina was joined by advocates who say families often face financial hardship, years of uncertainty, while they're seeking justice for their loved ones. This measure, the Marvina Haynes Act, would offer trauma repair, mental health, and housing support to those families. Marvina says it would have made a major difference in her family's fight for Marvin.
The Marvina Haynes Act is about recognizing that when wrongful convictions happen, the damage extends far beyond one person. Yes. Families need trauma support. Families need resources. Yes. Family needs advocates. Yes. Family needs help carrying that burden, so no family should feel that they have to carry it alone.
Now, the legislative session is over here at the Capitol, so that bill is not on the docket. But Marvina and supporters are calling on allies to reach out to their representatives in support of this new measure. Now, this last legislative session, Marvin Haynes, Marvina's brother, was awarded $4.5 million for that murder that he did not commit from the state of Minnesota.
Number 3 today, we have to get you caught up on election season. It was a busy weekend for politics in Minnesota as candidates battled it out for party endorsements. Let's get you caught up. Kendall Qualls snagged the GOP endorsement for governor. That was seen as an upset over House Speaker Lisa Demuth. Demuth was certainly expected to win, but throughout the night, there were irregularities in the voting totals. She originally said she would honor the party's choice, but now it's not clear if she will join others competing in August's primary. That includes Mike Lindell. Lindell is running for governor for a 3rd time. He is expected to challenge Qualls in August, even without the endorsement. Lindell urged his supporters to support Qualls after he was forced to drop out at the convention. Political science professor David Schultz says there's concern about electronic voting systems at the GOP convention, which does add a layer of controversy.
There seemed to be, by the end of the night, questions regarding whether or not the technology and the counting was really accurate. And so we walk out of that convention wondering what's going to happen next.
To the Democratic side, Amy Klobuchar took the DFL endorsement for governor. She took the title shortly after she announced her running mate. We told you last week that Fergus Falls Mayor Ben Shearer will run as lieutenant governor. And now to the Senate race. Endorsed candidates for the U.S. Senate will also face challengers later this summer. The GOP endorsed Adam Schwarzy, but he will face Michelle Tafoya. The DFL endorsed Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. She will face Angie Craig. Now, Craig did opt out of the convention altogether. Flanagan launched her campaign in March of last year, and this morning she officially filed to run for the U.S. Senate. Ahead of that filing, she spoke at a press conference about the key issues her campaign will address.
I'm running to help people afford the lives they want to live. People are ready for universal child care. They are ready for a national paid family and medical leave program. They are ready to raise the federal minimum wage and index it to inflation. And boy, are they ready for Medicare for all.
Early voting for the GOP and DFL primaries, that starts in just a few weeks on June 26th. We will, of course, be following all of the big political developments all the way to the November election. Certainly keep you updated here on 4 Things to Know. Number 4 today, we are learning about an attempted carjacking in Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park police say it happened just before midnight on Regent Avenue North. Officers say the victim told them the carjacker came up from behind them, and the carjacker then hit them with a handgun multiple times and attempted to steal their car. The victim was thankfully able to get away with their keys and prevent their car from being taken. Police say they are still looking for the suspect. Those are the 4 things to know today. Let's get a check-in now on our next weather forecast.
Hi, I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. Mild night tonight, we're down to 61. Your overnight low dry as we head into tomorrow. High temp tomorrow coming in at 86 with a fair amount of sunshine, though an air quality alert brings ozone issues to the metro area tomorrow.
And now, here's more to know.
We have new charges in Friday's shooting that injured 2 people on Nicollet Mall. One person allegedly admitted to the shooting during police questioning. That's according to the criminal complaint. Now, one of the victims suffered a life-threatening injury. They did have surgery. Now, we do not have an update now on their condition. We do know the other victim in the shooting is okay. No motive for the shooting was in that criminal complaint, but the suspect's first court appearance, that's scheduled for tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. Hundreds of kids learned to fish at Lake Harriet this weekend as a way to remember 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel. He lost his life in the shooting at Annunciation Catholic School last year. Fletcher's parents say he loved the outdoors, taking the role of mentor when it came to fishing. It was a perfectly sunny weekend to honor the young boy. We spoke with Fletcher's father, Jesse Merkel.
We're just doing our best to combat what happened to us with joy and kindness, and set an example to prove that good can overcome evil. And while we're broken, we're not going away, and we're working together.
So tragic and so nice that they can honor their son's memory. Now, proceeds from the event, they went to the Fletcher Merkel Memorial Endowment Fund. The Merkels say they have raised enough money so far to provide 2 children with a full ride at Annunciation. Another story we're following from the weekend, several bear sightings. Yeah, it all happened over in the metro. Elise Grennan and her dad spotted a bear playing with a pot in their backyard there near Lake Pamela. That happened Saturday night. And in Edina's Country Club neighborhood, Scott Peterson saw another one just after midnight on Sunday.
I said, holy beep, and showed the video to my wife, and she said, no way, that must be a dog or something. I was like, nah, that's definitely a bear.
Nuh-uh, absolutely that's a bear. Now, the Minnesota DNR says black bears, they are moving outside their typical range. They are working to better understand it, but they invite people who have spotted bears to submit that info online. And yeah, it seems like every summer now we're getting more and more bear sightings. I remember I was actually driving home with my family from a concert a few summers ago. I can't remember if it was AC/DC. Anyways, we were on the highway in the West Metro. We saw a bear just on the side of the road. So yeah, you can see them, it seems like, anywhere now. Hopefully DNR figures that out. We're also following another story. A new statue in St. Paul is highlighting a Minnesota legend. Yeah, we're talking about Dave Winfield, a Hall of Fame baseball player who grew up in St. Paul. Also, of course, a Gophers alum, played for the Twins in the 90s. Now, Winfield certainly regarded as one of the best all-around athletes of all time, and he has a long-time relationship with our Mike Max. Maxie sat down with him as part of that statue unveiling.
He's from Minnesota. Yeah, he's from Minnesota. How many times have we said that with such great pride? because we're so proud of what Dave Winfield has done to represent this state.
I was good, but I had a lot to learn because I only hit at the University of Minnesota for 1 year. And all of a sudden I go to the big leagues without minor league experience. And it's like, okay, let's hit against guys like Bob Gibson.
And you can see Dave Winfield's statue at Tony Stone Field in St. Paul. Today marks the start of June, which is recognized as Pride Month. Events are running all month long here in the Twin Cities. Some of the bigger events include the Cheers to Pride community run and walk. That's at Utapils Brewing. It's happening on Sunday morning. They say your pace is welcome, slow or fast. Then Youth Night is back on for a third year on June 26th, and the big festival and parade will be the next day, June 27th. Let's get to some sports headlines. Did you know the Minnesota Vikings, they have at least 5 coaches on the staff with a Super Bowl ring? I did not know that. Sadly, none with the Vikings, but their new GM also has a Super Bowl ring. His name is Nolan Teasley. He comes from the Super Bowl champion, of course, Seattle Seahawks. That's where he was the assistant GM. Certainly probably had a big role in taking our quarterback over to Seattle as the Vikings let Darnold go. We don't have to go back there, but Teasley worked his way up from a scouting intern over the last 13 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks all the way to the assistant GM for the last 3 years. Now, he, of course, beat out Vikings interim GM Rob Brzezinski. Brzezinski ran the draft process for the team this spring. He will still stay with the team. Now, OTAs for the Vikings, they continue this week. Mandatory minicamp starts on June 9th. I'm sure we will get our Nolan Teasley introduction very, very soon. And this is a super nice story in sports. Tomorrow, you can really help out a great, great cause, a special day at the ballpark for those battling a difficult disease. Special tickets and packages are available for tomorrow's Twins game against the White Sox, all in support of the 2026 Lou Gehrig Day game. There will be a pregame party with food and beer from Fulton Brewery, and stadiums around the country will be honoring the former player and raising money for ALS research. Now, ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive disease that slowly takes away someone's functions to walk, talk, and eat. You can also purchase ALS Association merch or make a donation to support their continued research to fight and hope to one day cure the disease. Always fun to go out to the ballpark. Certainly a great day for it tomorrow.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
A major celebration this week to remember Prince.
And we're going to celebrate that presence, that essence, his music, his values, his virtues, his generosity, his love, his kindness, and his Minnesota-ness.
That was L. Londell McMillian with Paisley Park. Now, the park and the city of Minneapolis are gearing up to honor Prince's legacy this week. Can you believe it? It's been 10 years since the world lost the Minnesota icon, but this week will be all about celebrating his birthday. Thousands of people are expected to visit during the 5-day celebration. There will be special concerts, tours at Paisley Park, and more during the event. Now, Thursday will be Prince Night at the Twins game, and Friday will feature a big concert at the Armory in Minneapolis. That will unite members of Prince's legendary bands, The Revolution and New Power Generation, for the first time. The big sing-along and block party that's planned for Saturday, and that will be happening at the Mural here in downtown. Now, to find all the details, just head to PrinceCelebration2026.com. Well, I'm Johnny Kahner, and this has been 4 Things to Know. We are here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock. Thanks so much for checking us out on YouTube today, for listening to us. We will be back tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Love podcasts? Love Minnesota?
Check out the WCCO podcast studio lineup.
Hear the top stories of the day with 4 Things to Know.
Discover top female athletes and teams from around the state on women in sports.
Dive into stories about faith and belief, from your local leaders to your neighbors next door, with bigger than belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.